Do. Good morning, everybody. 2023 is going to be magical. It's going to be good. You got to feel it. You got to have anticipation. You got to be excited. Who here remembers being excited on Christmas morning for presents? Man, people can't be shy, right? Who here remembers being excited for presents on Christmas morning? Why were we so excited? It's because we had belief in Santa. We had full trust and confidence in Santa. Santa doesn't let us down. And we wake up in the morning, the magic was there. And that's why we were excited. Well, if we can be that trustful and excited about Santa, how much more can we be about God, our Heavenly Parent? We got to trust God more than Santa, people. Man, I can make this a whole talk. I just thought of it just now. I'll coming up here. Just hit me. Man, we put a lot of trust and faith in Santa. We got to put that trust and faith in God too. But if you really believe God loves you, if you really believe God is in charge of it all, and if you really have that faith, then there's no reason you shouldn't wake up in the morning that excited for 2023. Because 2023 can be Christmas. Whew, I think we're done. I think that was good. Just came to me. Yeah. But actually today I want to talk about cheerful giving. Reason being is we've had a lot of progress in this last year and a half too. We've been really working to transform our community. We've been working to make it better. We've been working to highlight our youth, to make our youth feel important. We've been investing in things. We've been doing events. We've been buying resources and equipment and doing all of that. We've been having fun. We've been doing programs. All of that has been possible because of the contribution of all of you. And it's that contribution that has made differences happen. One of my things is the meetup ministry. So me personally, I've taken time to take people out one-on-one and talk with them. And I've just been hearing personal testimonies of, wow, this really impacted me. Man, I felt a lot of love in this, and this was great. And then I just look around the room, it's because of all of you. We're really building this together. And it's the giving aspect that makes it happen. So who here wants to be happy? Some of you Japanese members don't want to be happy. Not raising your hands here. You got to participate, give and take. I'm giving, you got to take it and give back. We want to be happy. That's why we're all doing this thing. We want to be happy. We want to feel joy. And what kind of happiness and joy do we want to feel? It's easy to be happy when everything's going our way. It's easy to be happy on Christmas morning because we're getting the gifts we asked for. It's easy to be happy when things we like are going on. But is that really a true happiness? If we're only happy when what we want is happening, are we really happy? Because our happiness is conditional. It's depending on something we want. Now, on Christmas, generally, many times we get what we want. But in our normal life, does God, our Heavenly Parent, sometimes give us a challenge? Does He sometimes want to help train us? Do you know how muscles are built? I'm not the best example, but some of our other young people are great examples. Do you know how muscles are built? You rip them. You tear them apart. It's a natural process of growth. We become better through a challenge. But so many times we don't like it. We rebel. We say, why is this happening in my life? I don't want this to happen. Oh, and then someone goes, why are you down? We have a whole long list because this. But what we really want is that when we say we want to be happy, we want to feel loved, it's not some superficial happiness. Our young people, you'll know superficial happiness from your friends because they're having so much fun when it's ha ha, he he, make a joke, play a game. No, I'm talking about when stuff's going on, you still feel this peace that doesn't leave. You feel the sense of security that doesn't go away. It's not fleeting, it's long lasting. It doesn't matter what happens around you, you have this sense of happiness. But where is the source of this happiness? Where do we get our true happiness from? Xbox? Do we get our true happiness from the car we drive? Do we get our happiness from the coffee we drink in the morning? I one time led a elders retreat. It was really a lot of fun. I called it our historic heroes. And I realized our young people go to summer camps, like we call them workshops, and they have a lot of fun. But like, why aren't our elder members having this much fun and playing these games? So I held these retreats and I'd make them play all the games and do the skits and do all that kind of stuff. And it was a great time. But one thing I really underestimated is how much coffee they drink. Literally waking up in the morning, it would literally, you'd be like Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing, but it'd be like someone's like a monster. Morning, and then it's like, here, coffee, give it to them. Good morning, everyone. They inhaled coffee. It was morning to night, just coffee, coffee, coffee. Is that the source of our happiness, coffee? Who do we turn to for our happiness? Your spouse? I don't think we could turn to our spouse for our happiness. They're not always happy. They're not perfect. We need something unconditional, unchanging, unique, eternal. Ultimately, we have to turn to our heavenly parent for our happiness. That's the source. That's the source of everything. But sometimes it's hard for us to do it, to turn to God and really trust God for this as a source, because we become attached to our present reality and we don't want to change. We become attached to what we have. So one of the best ways to keep that source of connection open, to connect with our heavenly parent who's the source of everything, is to give. Because when we give, we are saying, God, I trust you. I trust you so much that I'm willing to let this go. I'm willing to offer this up to you. At that point, when we do it, when we put our trust, it's like, that's the secret sauce. That's like, it's game time, baby. That's when miracles can happen in your life. That's when you can change your circumstances. That's when you can grow because you are not scared. But we need to be able to give. We need to be able to let go. There's two things that most of you can give. I think the most kind of big things that come to my mind are both time and money. And those are usually the hardest for us to give. Hey, can you help with this? I was gonna play Call of Duty. I don't know. Maybe I'm busy. I got a League of Legends tournament at 10. Can you give some money? I don't know. I have to get my boba for the second time today. If I give money, I might only get to go once. Oh my gosh. We struggle to give because we want to hold on. We have this resistance. It's natural. It's normal. We're called human. We're on this earth to learn to put trust in God, our source. We're on this earth to feel God's love. This is all a process of learning. So we have to learn to be able to offer stuff up and let it go. You see, if you want to improve in your life, if you want blessings to flow into your life, if you're holding on to everything you have, if you're like, I don't want to change, I don't have much money, I don't have much time, I got to hold on. It's a scarcity mindset. What you're doing is this. Whoosh. Nothing is escaping my grasp. And you know what? You're right. Nothing is escaping your grasp. But you know what else? Nothing's going in there either. Nothing is going in there either. What we need to be is a open hand. You freely give out and freely come in. That's when things in your life can change. So if there's something you want to improve in 2023, think about your resolutions. Last Sunday, we had our whole social Sunday sharing about our thoughts and dreams and goals and desires for 2023. There's some area in your life you want to improve. Think, how can I help or give it to others? How can I be able to make that offering? And in particular, think, how can I offer something to God? Because you ultimately want to put that trust in your heavenly parent. Our founder, Reverend Moon, when he shares about giving, in particular, he talked a lot about the monetary giving, the tithe, giving your personal finances. And he shared, if he says this is the speech was called "The Hope of Money," so he's speaking on behalf of money. But if your master owner offers a tithe with joy, all of you can go beyond the level of a family. You'll be connected to a nation and thus become a bridge in the world. How do we offer all our things to God? What's one way we can just offer things? Well, it's money. Money is known as a symbol of all things. The whole world revolves around money. We need money to function. It's an important piece of our society in 2023. So when you give something, with what heart should you give it? Sometimes I give reluctantly. I don't know about you. Maybe as a kid, you've had this experience, you had a really good snack, and you're like, oh, your sibling's like, can I have some? You're like, fine, give some to them. Yes, we're giving, but you're not going to get the magic in your life happening because you're not abundant. You're giving what's called reluctantly, dutifully, Thank you. You're all paying attention. Great. It's an obligation. That's not where the magic is. You're giving, but you have that attachment. You're not letting go. No. What is said in this thing is we have to give joyfully. So that's the first hack when you give, is you got to give joyfully. The other one is you can't expect a certain thing in return. And that is also hard to do. Sometimes even when we give our time, we expect maybe people would help us and give us their time back. When we give money, maybe we expect, well, God's going to bless me tenfold in my finances. I can't promise you exactly where it's going to come because you can't give with an expectation. You got to cut it. It's a free offering. It's you saying, I don't want this attachment. I trust you, God. And this is not just a unification church principle. If you look at any religious text, if you look at the Kabbalah, if you go down to every Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, you're going to see that this is a principle again and again and again. God's been teaching us this since the beginning of time. Let go of attachment. In the beginning, I think it was just like, here, take your crops, burn it. Seems like the most worthless thing, right? To burn a crop? What a waste. But that was the level of, hey, you got to take whatever you're attached to. And in the early days, food was life. Offer it. In another speech in Chun Sung Young, Book 7, Chapter 3, Section 5, you can look it up, but by offering a tithe from your material possessions to God, you can establish a condition equal to having offered all that you have. Even if you do not offer everything to God, offering a portion of it with all of your heart and mind will enable the rest to be considered holy. The person who tithes will never perish. Never perish. We like possessions. Possessions are fun. But ultimately, who is the source of all the possessions? Everything we have is just energy. Everything we have came from the same source. It all came from God. We all came from God. We're just using them to enjoy them. But it's easy to have that attachment. We get attached to our time. We get attached to our things. That attachment means we have fear of letting go. When we have this fear of letting go, we're not trusting in God. We're not connecting to source. We're not ready to expand. I've had experiences in my life, and in particular in my business, where sometimes I hit a challenge. I've had a great breakthrough, especially in finances, and then something happened and the finance goes down, and I see how attached I am to that income. I got scared. It's like, oh God, I don't want this to happen. I was really comfortable. I liked this happening in my life. And what's God saying? Do you trust me? Do you surrender to me? There's so many aspects where we have to surrender to God to reach our ideal, to our happiness, because God is the source of happiness. But it really is a surrender. You might go through a challenge because it's the best thing for you. But you have to surrender to God. Say, God, I offer this. I'm not attached. I trust you. It's from that point you're going to see your life manifest in amazing ways. Amazing ways. It's principles I live by. Some people ask me, well, Jonathan, how could I, I see things in your family, in your life. I see you have a business, there's this, you have some freedom. I see you're creating. What's one of the principles I live by is that I just give. I do it all the time. And I don't think twice. Sometimes I do. It's a way to let go of attachment, but it's not always easy to do it. It's not always easy to do it at all. So we hold on. It's like this balloons. I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go. I don't want to let go. You know what happens when you let go? You're free. You are free. Because when you have your trust in God, it doesn't matter what circumstances are happening in your life. It doesn't matter about the externals. You've got your heavenly parent by your side and you're surrendering. You are free. When you're like this, you're not restricted. You can grow. It's freedom. So God gives us opportunities in our life to give so that we have the opportunity to let go of attachment and to be free. That's why God does it. It's not that God needs the vegetables. It's not that God needs the money. God's the source of everything. What does God need? Our hearts, and He wants to help us to be free. We live in a secular, material world. It's very easy for us to be attached to it. So when you give, you let go of that attachment. Let's see what we got. Bible says, every man according as he purposeth in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. It's a joyful thing. Sometimes every Sunday we have a chance to give an offering, and it's always an interesting time because we battle with that resistance, especially if you're giving cash. Raise your hand here if you give cash on Sundays. Anyone? Okay, some people still use cash. I had to figure out what this was. I had to go around my house and look for it because I'm a digital guy now. Especially when you give cash, it's got a face on it. And when I'm giving the cash for like bubble tea, it's no problem, right? But when I have to give it away, I don't want to do that. This little president starts talking to me. Hey, Jonathan, no, don't leave me. Please, you work so hard. I like being in your wallet. It's so warm. Don't give it away. And we got this. But you know what? Just got to give it. Someone grab it. I'm not attached. It's okay. More's coming. It's my last one, dude. It's all energy. We're going to make some more. It's okay. How? I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out. What I'm talking about is really important because as a community, for too long, we haven't grown. For too long, we've left short, we've settled for less in life. For too long, we've played small when we could play big. Because we are in a scarcity mindset. And the scarcity mindset is there is not enough. So how can I give when there's not enough? But when you're giving with a joyful heart, you have full confidence in God, in Santa Claus here, that I can become more in my life. I can have more life. I trust you, God. I love you. I'm just going to get rid of this attachment. And the second you do that, you go from closed fist to open fist. You are living in what's called abundance. And abundance is there's not enough. Abundance is there's more than enough. And that's where we need to get to in our life. Because when we're abundant, there's not just abundance of money and time and that, there's abundance of love, there's abundance of prosperity, of joy. Scarcity mindset, it goes to everywhere, relationships, your family. When we connect to God, who is our source, then everything can connect to abundance. So why I'm giving this is I want to encourage you guys all in 2023 for our community to take the next step, for our community to keep growing. Continue to give. We want to be an abundant community. Give what you can. But there's another rule I want to talk about giving, and that is don't go into a deficit to give. This is really important and sometimes controversial. Don't go in debt to give. Don't run a credit card to give. Don't give time you don't have. Puts pressure and stress on your life. It's impossible to be the joyful giver, which is part of the formula. It's the secret sauce. So I know some of you are going through hard times. Maybe you don't have a lot of time. Give what you can. For some of you, 10% could be a lot in your finances. And give what you can. What I'm talking about is a heart and an attitude to let go of attachment, surrender to God, and be abundant and joyful. To do that, give what you can. Freedom is just another word to having nothing left to lose. So in 2022, we made a lot of progress, and it's really because of everything that you've contributed. Especially financially. We need finances to grow. I want to share with you what we've done with the community with the finances that we've had. So your contributions. Now we'll talk, if everyone wants a more in-depth one, I've done a quick summary, really quick summary. But we've done a lot this year. We decided we were not going to be afraid and we're going to step up our game. And that comes from our Sunday gatherings here. That comes from our events and our parties. We converted a youth center. We're building a new playground. So there's a lot of things that we did. We bought new equipment. There's a lot of infrastructure we put into place. And some of these expenses won't be as high this year. But to share, our total income, $277,000. We had expenses with payroll, $35,000, and that goes for staff salaries. Utilities was $11,000 for our properties. We had contractors and office services, including bookkeeper, accounting, that type of thing, $22,000. Program expense was our highest expense, $92,000. Majority of that is IPEC for events and our Sunday services, but also for our Halloween parties, Christmas parties, picnics, those type of things there. Food evangelical, that's like programs, banquets. If we take out people or ministries or teams for meals, we've had to invest into equipment repairs. We've had to invest into building repairs with the Chonwogung property, grounds repairs. We had to buy new equipment for our Sunday services. So our total expenses last year was $290,649.79. for a net profit of negative 12, 13,000. And I'm like, that's not too bad. Because we did a lot of stuff. We decided we have as a church, we have actually extra savings from previous years. So we decided to dip into that to really level up our community. But why I wanted to show you this is all the money that you've contributed has gone straight into our community. That's where it's going. And if we're able to even step up the amount we're giving, we can do more. Even for this to be positive, 1,000 a month it's about 1,200 a month is not that much. 100 people, what's that? $10 more per person? Per month? Something like that. But where do we want to go in this year? We want to continue to invest in the programs for our families to feel supported, loved. One of our big things is we want to develop a youth program. So if we have more contributions, we want to develop, help give the resources to create youth leaders that can really take care of our children. Let the children feel God's love, and they can really grow with that alignment. So with this talk, thank you. I know for so many of you, you've done so much to give to our community. Thank you. It's because of you we could get this far. And I want to also encourage you to keep giving. Give what you can. If we can give more, then we can do more for our community. I especially really want to take care and impact our youth. So let's let go of our attachments. Let's be abundant. And let's see where God takes us in 2023, because it's going to be a wild, wild ride. Thank you very much.